Hello, my people. Good evening, good night from here, good morning, good afternoon, according to your time zone, wherever you're watching from. This is another time, another night for us, maybe another day or another morning for you. You're highly welcome. This is M Special, a Biafran agitator, crying for the freedom of my people, hoping that we will go soonest, because everything is in the hand of God. Man cannot give freedom. Freedom comes from God, and in that God we hope on. We do what we can do, He will do what we cannot do. That is the Chukwu Okike Obiama that we serve. We serve a Chukwu Okike Obiama that has given us and enabled us to do what He has empowered us to do as man, and we will leave the rest for Him to do as our God, and He is doing it. To Him be all the glory. So this evening and this night, I have come with a broken heart in terms of the contraction called Nigeria. And in this video, I am calling on Africa as a continent to stop wasting time to disintegrate Nigeria. If Nigeria is not disintegrated, Africa will not see the light it's supposed to see. This time we are is a time for African glory. But Africa cannot achieve that without standing up for itself. And that standing up for itself will be to tell itself to the truth, to disintegrate Nigeria. I know very well that all African countries are under the siege of colonial masters and their evil policies. But I also know that no African country and no country of the world functions as Nigeria functions. When an immigrant president, then you see what you are seeing in Nigeria. It's a long planned agenda. The Fulani who came from the EMIRATE, they are in Africa, especially in Nigeria, to destroy Africa and destroy lives as they are doing. The war in the Central Africa some years ago was caused by them. Everybody knows that. They are looking for land to grab. It is only up to Africans to keep quiet for this to continue happening. It is a shame. I don't know what they have used on Nigerian people, because the Nigeria of today is not the Nigeria I knew. They have used fear of killings and killings and killings to suppress everybody not to talk. Yet, people are dying. I am making this video to call on Africa as a continent, on ECOWAS, on AOU, to stand up in this critical time to disintegrate Nigeria, because you people know the truth. No country can function without a president. Nigeria has been there destroying life without a president, which you people know very well. I am saying this because we are in a very special time, a time that Africa is supposed to stand up for its own, as we are seeing. And I must not forget to say thank you, the African continent presidents that are standing up without fear or favor, changing and amending the agreement they had with Chinese people and around the world. Thank you, Ambassador of the past ambassador of AOU, a wonderful. But I am asking anybody that loves Africa to please stand up for Africa first by making sure Nigeria is dissolved and the indigenous people will own the power. And I'm not just saying this for only Nigeria. If Africa will see light, we must leave and disintegrate every salad country that the colonial masters has put together that is bringing the problem we have in Africa. We are the ones to tell ourselves the truth. Okay? We must disintegrate their bonds. When we disintegrate their bonds, people will be more happy. Killings will stop instantly, and we will focus on growing Africa. That is the starting point and the foundation. Without this, no truth will be told. Grudges will be all over, because you cannot hold a man on the ground and you are talking about peace. It does not work. So we must make the peace by force, by ourselves. We will not wait for the West always to come and tell us what to do. It starts from Nigeria, and I'm challenging the African continent and the African leaders on this. I use Nigeria as a test case. Why am I saying this? It's because of the season we are in. This is Ems Media. Please, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to my channel, help me to grow. And for my viewers, I say kudos. This week, I got 20 subscribers. It's very little, but for me, it is very big because I'm just starting. Surprise, surprise. I say may God bless each and every one of you that has put your hand on that subscribe button for me to move forward. May the Lord bless everything that you put your hand that is good. And for those that are encouraging me, that are giving me suggestions, sending their comments, I say you are highly welcome and highly blessed. My Biafran people, lovers of peace, justice around the world, may God continue to shower you all blessings in Jesus' name. So this, as I was saying, is about the season we are into. Africa has been shouting, all of us, that we will not take any vaccine from the killers. Call it the West, call it the divided nations, call it the divided states, call it China. They are all one as far as Africa is concerned. Africa is standing alone. When the coronavirus pandemic broke off, one professor in Nigeria came up with a suggestion of possible cure, being that his research institute has been on study about this pandemic in case it will erupt, because it was his institute that found the cure for Ebola. That was why Ebola did not wipe Africa as they planned. Now, this pandemic came up. Around March, before the shutdown, he came immediately to tell the Nigerian states and the Nigerian federal government that he has a possible cure. He was not asking for anything. He only wanted them to say, go ahead, bring money, make it more, and cure the people. They refused. They refused till now. You people can see and witness how people were dying in Kano by the Chinese they brought in. I asked, what is wrong with the head of a Fulani man? What is wrong? You know, when a man is wicked, he does not even discriminate even his own child. That was exactly what we are seeing in Nigeria today. Because the rate people died in Kano was so alarming that I asked myself, are these people human beings? Okay, now they refuse to approve it for this man to go. They have a scientist, private scientist, had a possible cure by himself with his colleagues, begging the government of a country to approve it. While in United States and around the world, people and governments are donating money for their scientists to go on research. To talk about Nigeria is sickly, very, very sickly. But I am saying this to African continent, to African leaders. If anybody, majority of you are true Africans, especially those that are rising up because of the Chinese racism towards Africa that has opened our eyes. If you people did not speak for the downfall and disintegration of Nigeria, Africa will never move forward. It is true and it is a promise. We must start from Nigeria and we'll go into Africa. Every ethnic group that we are joined together by force, we will disintegrate them only, but that will give African peace. And if we have that peace, now we can talk about economic and political empowerment, because you don't grow where there is no peace. I want everybody to listen to this and know exactly where I am coming from, because this Nigeria, what is going inside, coming out from it, is nothing but bad news to Africa and Africans. I made a video before. I said the disrespect that Africans are getting all around the world is because of the news coming out from the construction called Nigeria. Anybody that has sense, think about it. It is a thought It's a word for our thoughts. Listen to Prophecy Wu and hear by yourself.
Maurice Ewo, a professor of pharmacognosy, says he has identified a possible cure of the coronavirus. Professor Ewo says COVID-19 virus is amongst the neglected tropical emergent diseases his research group has been studying for years. He says the federal government must have confidence in Nigerian scientists, and there is nothing in trying all options to cure the virus.
It is actually beyond the federal government, so to speak. It's actually a national cause. We seem to have, we lack the will. We do not have confidence in ourselves. It's like an enclosure of the mind. Anything that doesn't come from outside Nigeria, we don't take it seriously. This particular compound we're talking about, I informed the ministers that 7,145 patients were treated with the source plant by the Chinese, and in a published report, all we did was to isolate the active compound responsible for it. Having isolated that active compound, it could have been the very first active masculine ingredient developed in this country. I didn't want it to seem as if we are trying to market something. Otherwise, I could have brought the plant material that we developed to show to the federal government. But we have done our bit. I'm only a scientist. All we did was to say that this is possible, this is what can be done. And what is also interesting, we filed a patent. Filing a patent means that you make it public. It is no longer in the private domain of Professor Morris. It is a public knowledge issue here, so that if Nigerian scientists want to do it, they can also investigate it on their own.
We all can see it, we all can hear it from the man, the scientist himself. The Nigerian government will not adopt it. Why? Because Prophecy Wu is not a Fulani man. That is the truth. That is number one. Number two, the Nigerian government will not approve this because they want to tell Nigerians that they go out to borrow money for COVID-19, because they have already started talking about the world IMF come and help them, give them $6.something billion for them to share, not because of the people. And I hope the world is seeing this. And it is for the benefit of the same enemy that we are fighting in Africa. And that is why I am calling on African leaders to make sure that Nigeria is dissolved. If not for anything, there is no president in Nigeria, and the country cannot function without a presidency. And when a president is late and the people in power has used it as an opportunity to enrich and embezzle and kill, it is enough for anybody that has common sense, that is in the seat of power, to say this will not happen in my own time. I know that all African countries, leaders are almost, we can say they are corrupt, but they are not as worse as what is happening in Nigeria. And it will be a taboo that in your own time you are leading along with such a country called Nigeria, with all the abomination that is coming from it, not only for its citizens, but for the continent as a whole, and you sit wherever you are sitting and you are comfortable, or you keep quiet for it to continue. Because if you are not part of the solution, then you are part of the problem. If any of us, be it leader or citizen of Africa, is not part of the solution, count yourself part of the problem, because that is the truth. The worst people are the majority that sat back and watched evil go on. That was what Chocho said. He said the worst people in the planet Earth are people that will see evil unfolding, they know what to do, but they chose to be silent for the evil to continue. They are the worst people in the humans. So let us do what we have to do for Nigeria, to save lives in Nigeria, because the people in the seats of power in Nigeria are nothing but vampires. And I advise Prophecy Wu, please go and market your invention to other African countries. Africa needs such breakthrough now. Africa needs to start its own. Africa needs to stand on its ground, because we are already in the Third World War. We are already in the Third World War. The divided states are already at war with each other. So if Africa did not rise up now, we are finished, because all the war is geared towards us. Who is going to own Africa? We become a slave if we allow ourselves we continue to be a slave. They use our resources to enrich themselves, and they call us idiots because we chose to behave like one. This is time for Africa to rise up. This is our afternoon because the money has already gone from us. And if we don't catch this afternoon now, we will not live to talk about the evening. Thank you and God bless you. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to put on your notification bell so that when I upload any video, you'll be among the first to see it. And share my video. Let it go to the hands of Africans so that together we will build Africa. I want an Africa that will be Africa of one citizen. We see each other, we know we are one people. We remove the divided mind and the colonial poison that is in our head, and we will forge ahead in truth, because nothing can triumph without truth. It is time for us to tell ourselves the truth. Thank you, and God bless you.